Hey guys, Triple B here with your weekly news roundup. Some interesting things to come out this week. We're getting some more information about the World Championships. We're getting to see that it's the 20th birthday of Poke Beach. Thank you very much for all of the amazing content you guys have put out over the years. It's an amazing website, and well, I wouldn't really be able to do these videos without you. And we're getting to see some new card reveals, which is always very exciting. So first up, happy birthday, guys. I'd sing you a song, but it just feels weird without a candle. And it looks like this is on July 15th. So it's within this week, but like, happy belated birthday, I should say. Appreciate you. Please keep up the great work. And yeah, I'm going to kind of keep mooching off it and reading your articles. So keep it up. Next up, we are going to see the list of merchandise that will be available at the Yokohama World Championships this year. And long story short, there's a lot. So I'll give you the too long didn't read. Yeah, it's still going. Don't worry, I highlighted the best bit. There is not only one, but two types of masking tape you can buy. So like you're set, your toolbox will be kitted out and just look epic, just saying. If you are going to Worlds, take a look through the list. That way you know what you want. The shops are going to be like pretty packed. I'm pretty sure you had to book in, if not win a lottery to even get a slot to go into the store. So if you have an inkling to go, maybe take a look ahead of time. Make sure you're bringing enough money. You have it all converted over. And when you get there, it's just like, yep, I want this, I want this, I want this. And you're not just completely overwhelmed. But yeah, get those masking tapes. Scoot, if you're watching this, get those masking tapes. Next up, we are getting to see a Palafin illustration rare and some other cards coming out in Obsidian Flames. Like we're getting Clump EX. I'm pretty sure we've seen this one before. He's a beefy boy though, 220 HP, fighting, basic Pokemon. Give it a Charm of Toughness. I was about to say Cape of Toughness. Charm of Toughness, it's probably not even that. I think it's Charm of Courage or Bravery or something. Extra 50 HP on basic Pokemon. You know what I'm talking about. The ability though, countering Pincer. If this gets attacked, if it's in the active and gets attacked, you get to discard an energy from the attacking Pokemon. So a little bit disruptive. You could run it with like Crushing Hammers and just kind of like mess with your opponent. Go, yeah, I'm not going to kill you, but I'll make sure you run out of energy if you don't have means of recovering it. You're not going to kill me, and then I can slowly just kind of like pick at you, just like that. Just little pincers. The reason that everything evolves into crabs. They're not quick, but they're efficient. Wait, not efficient. Effective. If they're efficient, they would be quick. They're effective. Everything becomes crab in the end. The Palafin, though, very cool looking card. Love the art. The card itself, it's all right. Stage 1, 30 damage for 1 energy. Also does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. We did have, I believe it was a Buzzwole that had that, but on a basic. And we had some things to scale up the damage at that time. So it was, well, an effective card to use. This, maybe not so much. Second attack, though, 2 water energy, 210. If this Pokemon didn't move from your bench to the active spot, though, the attack does nothing. So it's like you need to run a lot of switch. You need to have ways to get the energy out. Is it going to see play? Maybe. Interesting. Definitely like the art, though. It's like cool one for the collectors out there. We are getting a new Clodsire card, as well as a new Claymation style Sinistea, and its attack is called Cold Tea, which I appreciate that. 1 psychic energy, 10 damage, flip a coin. If it heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is paralyzed. So if you pull that in pre-release and you have like a psychic deck, really good inclusion to have. Paralyzing your opponent's always really good, especially in that kind of format. So it'll be cool for that. Outside of that, I'm not sure this will see play, but like it. Good art style. And then we get to see the other stuff we've already seen reveals of. Not really going to go into those. I'm pretty sure we've covered it a few times at that point. We did get to see the release date of the upcoming set Paradox Rift, though. So that's going to be the set after Obsidian Flames. It's going to be coming in November. So November 3rd is the release date. Pre-releases are going to take place around October 21st, so around Halloween. That's cool. I like that. Maybe do a little bit of trick-or-treating while you're at pre-release. Like, I'm going to bring candy. Even if I beat you up, it's at least like, here's a treat. Everybody will be happy. It's a casual way to play the game. Great experience. If you've been to a pre-release, do yourself a favor, get into it. If you mostly just play online and you're looking to kind of get your feet into the game, playing the physical cards, get a feel for the community, pre-release is a great way to do it. It's like $40. Everybody just gets a deck there. So it's not like someone's going to have some pre-constructed like top tier, S tier nonsense and just beat you up. It's like, hey, did you get good stuff from your packs? Me neither. This is the kit I'm running, and you just have a bit of fun. It's casual. It's a good way to get into it. And yeah, interesting set. It'll likely be including the Paradox forms of Rizzy and Suicune. We're getting the Golden Ingo EX as well as a Terra type Garchomp EX. So really interesting set from from what we've got to hear so far. We also get to see there is a Bellossom. Said that wrong. Bellossom line coming out in Ruler of the Black Flame. So that'll be included in our Obsidian Flame set coming out in just a few weeks now. Cool. Oddish, Gloom, standard stuff. Evolves up to Bellossom. It's effectively just an Ambipom, but a stage 2. Flip a bunch of coins, so 90 damage. Well, for energy attached to this Pokemon, flip a coin. For each heads, do 90 damage. Ambipom is that, but 60. It's a grass type. Like you can be using Cherim, accelerate the grass energy to pay for this attack, flip a bunch of coins. We don't have any stadiums to reflip the coins, so doing a little bit extra damage is actually pretty solid because, well, if you hit 3 heads, you're doing 270, you're almost taking out a V-Star. If you hit heads, you're doing 360, you're killing everything. That's kind of epic. Will it be a fun deck? Yeah. Will it be a meta deck? Probably not, but like, it's a non-holo rare. Well, in our sets, I think all rares are holos. So maybe cost $1 a piece. If you want to throw it together, it'll probably cost you $5 to get this line, and then the staples in it will be stuff you already have for standard play. So if you want to have a bit of fun, maybe run it on like a casual league night, be an interesting deck to mess around with. We do get to see the full art of Ortega that's going to be coming out in Obsidian Flames as well. Your opponent reveals their hand, choose a card you find there, put it on the bottom of their deck, and then your opponent may draw a card. So it's sort of like you're doing Swobit for your opponent, but instead of their whole hand, it's just one card and you get to pick it. It's also your supporter for turn. So yeah, if you collect full art trainers, there's another full art trainer. That's pretty much it. The EX battle decks for the next set have also been revealed. So it's going to be Kangaskhan and Greninja EX. Both these are starter EXs from Japan. Neither of them seems super relevant for play. The past EX decks we just got were, I believe, Chin Pao, which was good. Like, not necessarily a consistent deck, but a powerful card. And even just having it as a 1 or 2 copy to chuck in Water Decks, 4-back Excalibur to be able to accelerate energy out from your deck and then to your bench is really good. Whereas the Greninja and Kangaskhan, they're both okay. If you're just wanting like decks that are pre-made, you just pull it out of the box, play the game, casually play the game. These will be fine. If you're looking to get into competitive play, likely just skip these. And that's kind of fine. It's nice when things aren't locked behind promos. Because yeah, the last one was Chin Pao, and I think Tinkaton was the other one. And it sucked that the regular art Tinkaton wasn't in the set. Because people that did want to build that then were forced to either pay full price for alt arts or full arts or buy multiple of these kits. So the fact that they've kind of taken out the ones where it's like they're okay cards, like they're good beginner cards, that's good. Like I'm not going to miss either of these being in the set. We also get, oh, scroll up a little bit there. All 108 Ruler of the Black Flame cards have been revealed. I feel like most of them have kind of been shown over the past few weeks. We'll take a quick look through here. We are getting to see there is a new Bonsly card though. So the last one we got was how many years ago? 16 years ago. And he's got his, we'll call it his outlet showing. We're getting a new Bonsly card. Also, kind of calling shenanigans on this because there has been 2 other Bonsly cards. So we'll pop it into the full camera for a second. Give me a moment while I figure this out. I'm too lazy to do this in editing. This Warp Point, that's a Bonsly. He's right there. It's not a Bonsly card, but he's on the card. And this, oh wait, no, it's a personal collection card. Ignore that. You saw nothing. I'm just teasing. He's a funny one. What's he doing? Who? Just chatting it up with a flower? Come on, Macho. Get it together, man. Get it together. Losing your mind over there. Who am I talking to? Microphone? I'm losing my mind over here, too. Okay. Ruler of the Black Flame, though. We've gotten to see the Bellossom line. There's some others kind of snuck in here. None of them are really standing out, I'll be honest. Obsidian Flames seems like an interesting set. I'm not too sure how much it's going to impact the meta, though. So, like the Charizard line, Charizard EX, the Dark Terra type one, interesting. There's a deck up there. The rest of the set feels a little bit almost fillery. Like we're catching up on a lot of Japan starters. There's like the Terra type Ice Cube that's going to be in it, and that's kind of cool. Other stuff, maybe Tyranitar if you're a believer in that, but I feel like got better lightning Pokemon that are basics. So like if you're trying to evolve up into a stage 2, the stage 1 line for it's kind of weak. Like the reason Gardevoir works is because Curly is good, and even the Ralts are good, and Psychic has a lot of support. Lightning, it's like, well, you've got Electro Generator, you've got Miraidon, you've got Stormy Mountains, and basics, get basics set up quickly, maybe some Flaffies. Yeah. So we'll kind of skim through this. I don't think is there a write-up of all this? There's maybe we do a quick review. Oh, there is. Oh, look at it. Look at that. Me cutting it early. Okay. Yeah. The Gloom Blossom line, we already saw those. Scyther, seems fine. Shuckle, Mushroom Scent, search your deck for a basic Pokemon, put it onto your bench. It's another call for family type thing. It's second attack, 30 damage, takes 30 less. It's a card. It exists. Is it see play? Absolutely not. Maybe in pre-release. We've got a combi. We are getting a Vespiquen EX, so that's how you're going to evolve up into it, is with the combi. You'll also notice, I don't know if you're familiar with combi, only the female ones can evolve. So you'll notice on the combi card, it's got a little red thing in the center, signify that it's a female. I don't think we've ever got a male combi card, because if we did, it wouldn't be allowed to evolve. Appreciate the continuity of that, guys. Like, there's not a lot of things that carry over from the VGC to the TCG. So like that being one of them, I appreciate that. Attention to detail, respect. Trevenant, as long as this is in the active spot, put 1 damage counter on your opponent's active Pokemon during Pokemon pickup. Okay, it exists, I suppose. Like we used to have stadiums that did that for Roblox Pokemon, so the fact that now you have to have a stage 1 Pokemon to do it and be in the active seems redundant. Like if it was a bench, yeah, okay, I could see that seeing play. Caps Kid Scovolian, we have covered. Yeah, I think we kind of just skimmed through this. Entei, I don't think we've seen. So as long as this is in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks do 20 less damage. So Entei effectively just has 20 more health, 50 damage, and it does 20 more damage for each fire energy attached to this Pokemon. For GLC, I like that. For standard, not much. Darumaka, Darmanitan, 60 damage. If this Pokemon has any damage counters on 60 more damage. Stage 1, it's doing 120. It's not relevant numbers to be taking knockouts into multi-prize Pokemon. Again, maybe in GLC, but standard, I don't see that being relevant. It is fire double colorless, so you could be using a reversal energy if you're running it in like a Zorobox deck. Super effective classes, tripling that 120 into 360. Okay, but if you're doing it in a Zorobox deck, you need a way to get damage counters out, and the way to get damage counters to Pokemon is Magma Basin, so reversal energy is redundant in that situation. So don't think that's the one for that deck. The Ice Cube, though, yeah, we've covered it previously. Like, I know they snuck some new stuff in the last few days. Quaking Area, as long as this Pokemon's in the active spot, your opponent's active Pokemon's attacks cost 1 colorless energy more. Okay, so that seems to be like a bit of a theme, that like trend theme, yeah, they've got going. Just when your guys are in the active, does something. And yeah, I might just kind of skim through the rest. I feel like it's just regurgitating information. Oh, Thundurus, this new? As long as this is in the active spot, prevent all damage to your bench Pokemon from your opponent's attacks. So Manaphy in the active with 110, Cramorant kills it. Okay. Belly Bolt to prevent all damage done to this Pokemon by attacks of your opponent's lightning Pokemon. Like, that's kind of interesting. We used to have a Bronzong that didn't take damage from fire types, so having this not taking damage from lightning types, it forces lightning to have a response to it, because it's like, well, if I have a Zoroark line in here, I can just go into this. You take out all my single prizes except this one, and it just sits there, and I wait till you deck yourself out. All right, we're getting another Cleffa card? Or a different art of that Cleffa card? Yeah, that's the pre-release art, and this is the actual art for it? Okay. Togepi line, Espeon recovered, Lunatone. If you have any Solrock in play, prevent all effects of your opponent's stadium cards done to your Pokemon. I don't mind that, actually. That's kind of fun. So it's a way to shut down Path to the Peak without having to counter Path to the Peak, so your opponent could theoretically path themselves. Not a lot of situations where that's relevant, because normally they have a way out from it too. Your opponent isn't playing a stadium, rely on you countering the stadium. Could be interesting though, like if you're trying to make the Lunatone Solrock single prize deck work and you keep seeing Lost City and are fed up of your Pokemon going to the Lost Zone, have one copy of this, have it in play. You guys don't go to the Lost Zone, but then it's one bench space eaten up when you could just counter that stadium. It's preventing that stadium from your opponent playing it on their turn and getting the effect off on you. But yeah, I feel like you kind of just cop it in that situation. It's one less attacker you have by playing that Lunatone. Solrock that has Call for Family, get basic Pokemon, put them onto your bench. We've got Solrock that accelerates energy from the discard pile though, so I don't think this one replaces it. You want to be getting max counts of that in that deck. Baltoy Claydol, the Vespiquen EX, I don't think we covered this one, so it's a Terra type Pokemon. If it's on the bench, it doesn't take damage. Recovery Pheromones heals 60 damage for one of your Pokemon for grass energy, and then for 3 grass, Phantom Queen does 200 damage, put 2 damage counters on each of your opponent's bench Pokemon that has any damage counters on it. That's interesting. Like, I'm not opposed to that. So if you run it with like Gapejaw Bog, they take 2 as they come down, use that, get 3 more on them. Into like single prize decks, it could be helpful, like into Lost Box, being able to just wipe Comfies, being damage counters is not blocked by Manaphy. So interesting card to kind of play around with in Theory Craft. Graveyards, Houndstone, Struggle to Death. Interesting attack name. They don't normally mention death in Pokemon. They're acknowledging it. I got told off for saying something, Chin Pao killed something, and they're like, no, it didn't kill it, knocks out. So, but we can just name attacks death. Okay, that's fine. We're drawing the line there. If your opponent has exactly 2 or 4 prize cards remaining, this attack does 120 more, so it gets up to 200 damage. Psychic Double Colorless. Again, it's another one of those attacks you can be using with reversal energy, likely meant for Zoroxes. It's cool, like interesting concept. Super effective glasses, brings it up to 600. Or if they don't have that many prize cards, then brings it up to 240, which still takes out basic V and EX Pokemon. So interesting. The Larvitar line evolving up into the Terra-type Tyranitar, Stunfisk, the ability Custom Trap. If this Pokemon's in the active spot and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, even if it's knocked out, and this Pokemon has a Pokemon tool card attached to it, put 5 damage counters on the attacking Pokemon. Like, again, another one of those cards that's like for GLC, interesting. It's a basic, so you can be running like Bravery Charm, Cape of Toughness, bring it up to 170 HP. There's likely some other ways to bulk it up a little bit. It's interesting. Like, you just chuck it in the active, and it's like, yeah, if you hit me, you're going to get hurt. Also, like, potentially an inclusion for Ting-Lu, just a way to get damage counters out. And if they try and escape or rope around you, it's like, cool, I'll put this active, hit it, you get hurt. That's fine. Digger's Bee exists. Rock off Lycanroc. Finishing Fang, 90 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon has no damage counters on it before this attack does damage, this attack does nothing. So you do need to have like Gapejaw Bogs, Haluchas, things like that to kind of stop for this. It seems like they're going that direction for fighting type being their gimmick, that it's like, if you're hurt, this does extra things. I do like when they have like a consistent archetype across things. So fighting's being like, hey, damage counters on them, bonus effect. That's cool. I like that. Glimmet we've seen already. There's 2 different ones. We've already got one with Ascension though, and then the Glimora EX we've covered, the Charizard EX we've covered, Paldean Wooper, Splattering Poison. Both Pokemon are now poisoned. Seems like a bad idea, but okay. Evolves up into Paldean Quagsire. We do also have a Paldean Quagsire EX, so you've got options. This one does 8 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon is poisoned, 120 more. Again, being a dark and then double colorless, it's a reversal energy thing that you could be playing into. Interesting concept. We also have Mightyena though, so I feel like Mightyena is just the one that you go to for Zoro boxes, but Paldean Quagsire could become an option for it. Houndour line, going into Houndoom, Resolute Assault, 50 damage. If your opponent's active Pokemon's in evolution, 70 more, so 120 effectively, hitting them for weakness, 240. Into Mew VMAX, you could be attaching super effective glasses if you like, and just kind of sneak out some damage. We are getting a Houndoom EX, so maybe that's just like a one-off inclusion in that deck. Absol EX we've covered. Darkrai, 120 damage. Move all energy from this Pokemon to your bench Pokemon in any way you like. New Inkay. It's a dark Inkay, so maybe for GLC. This attack's called Hug. That's awesome. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon can't retreat. Ah, it's a aggressive Hug. Okay. Malamar has Psi Vision. Once during your turn, you can use this ability. Look at the top card of your opponent's deck, then look at the top card of your deck. You just get to see what their top deck's going to be. All right. Seems like a waste of a deck space, but okay. Maybe in control. Actually, there's some cards coming where you're like discarding cards off the top of their deck, so that could be relevant. Altaria Sleepy Song, 110 damage. Once active Pokemon's now asleep. During Pokemon checkup, your opponent flips 2 coins instead of 1. Either's tails that Pokemon is asleep. That's cool. I like that. It's a water and a steel, though. It's a little bit awkward to pay the attack cost, but interesting. Also, you could be playing it with a reversal energy just to buy yourself a bit of time. Pidgeot EX we have seen already. It's effectively just like Arceus V-Star, but once per turn and just for 1 card. And I think that's just about it. We're getting into the colorless Pokemon. So we should be seeing the trainers. Yeah, Letter of Encouragement we've seen already. You can search your deck for 3 basic energy cards, put them into your hand, but only if one of your Pokemon was knocked out during your last turn. Patrol Cap, I think this is new though. So as long as this Pokemon in the active spot, cards in your deck can't be discarded by effects of your opponent's attacks, abilities, item cards, tools, or supporters. That's cool. Okay, so it's just like a tool to shut down Mill. Neat. Revenge Punch we've seen, if it gets knocked out, put 4 damage counters on the Pokemon that attacked it. Gita is effectively just attach 2 basic energy cards from your deck to one of your Pokemon, but you can't attack on your turn. Ortega, we've covered the full art that just got revealed. Poppy, move up to 2 energy from one of your Pokemon to another Pokemon. Rhyme, draw 3, and then like sort of like escape rope, but just on your opponent. Town Department Store, run during your turn, look through your deck for a Pokemon tool card. That's cool. I like that one a lot, actually. And then Pokemon League HQ. The attack cost of each basic Pokemon in play, yours and your opponent's, is a colorless more. So it's a good way to kind of counter like Lost Box. Yeah, wasn't really expecting a full set reveal. That took a little bit longer than anticipated. Sorry about that, but weekly news still. We did get to see Scovolian EX, Moonlight Hill, and some other gym promos getting revealed coming out in Japan for July. Interesting cards. The stadium especially, it's been getting quite a bit of noise around it because it's sort of like just more firepower for Gardevoir. We'll get to it in just a second though. So the Scovolian EX has Spicy Bind. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned, and they can't retreat during their next turn. There's a lot of switch cards getting played though. Escape Rope, switching cart. So like getting around that isn't really an issue. The second attack though, 2 grass energy, 2-face crash, does 140 damage. You get to discard a random card from your opponent's hand and from the top of their deck. That's interesting. The fact that it's grass type too, so you can be using it with like Fortress EX, giving your opponent prizes, maybe blow up 2 Fortress, give them 4 prizes. They're down to 2 cards, or 2 prizes left. You use Iono, put them into a 2-card hand, and then use 2-face crash because you've accelerated energy out to pay this attack. Like doing that's kind of risky. You'd probably just blow up 1 Fortress, charge up 2 of these because you get 5 energy. This takes 2. And then, yeah, muck with your opponent's hand the rest of the game. It's interesting. I can definitely see there being a deck built around that, and people that play Control will probably find a good use for this card. Another Cleffa card? Really? Another Clef card. Okay, so we didn't see baby Pokemon for a while. Now they're just kind of like overcorrecting it. Neat. Twinkle Wish. Search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards, reveal them, put them into your hand. That's cool. I like that it's basic energy. It doesn't specify a specific type, so it's a good inclusion just to have in like any deck. It doesn't cost energy to use the attack, so it's just like chuck this in the active, except that, hey, it's probably going to die into my deck. It gets me energy. You want to Iono me? Fine. I'm getting into other cards now. Neat. Carry on. Saying a bunch of words now. Yep, they've been said. Moonlight Hill. So this is the one that, yeah, it's people's reactions to it have been interesting because around Gardevoir, a lot of people are saying Champions Festivals like, oh, you need this card. It's optimal. I'm paying like hundreds of dollars to get it. And then they go and print this card. So Moonlight Hill, once during each player's turn, they can discard a basic psychic energy, specifically psychic. That's where Gardevoir getting the extra firepower is unnecessary. And if they do, they can heal 30 damage from each of their Pokemon. That's a little silly. So Gardevoir accelerating energy from the discard pile puts 20 damage. You then discard 1 from your hand and heal 30. So you can be scaling things up. like the basic Gardevoir that would struggle to hit really high numbers because if you put too many damage counters on it, it's going to get knocked out easily just by like Intellion pings or Sableye pings, or it's just missing short of numbers. So you had to run a reversal energy to get up to it. Now you just go Moonlight Hail, proc it. It has more health, put more energy on it. Seems necessary. Like a good chunk of Gardevoir is going to be rotating. So next rotation, it's Chilling Rain is going to be included in that. Like essentially all the battle style stuff. So battle styles, Chilling Rain, Fusion Strike, and the other one is escaping me. Evolving Skies. They'll all be going. So when that happens, Gardevoir will be taking a hit. And then this card could make sense because then you'll have to be charging up like EX Pokemon. You're using this, it's healing a little bit of damage. It's not like allowing you to scale to ridiculous uncapped numbers. But for the current meta, it's going to be a little bit scary. It's likely not going to be coming out in our Obsidian Flame set. Happy to be corrected if anyone's heard anything differently. The fact that it's a gym promo for Japan, they haven't got it yet. I'm thinking it'll be in like our winter set. So there'll be like a 4-month gap where this is in rotation with the Zacian and the baby Gardevoir. But that time is going to be a little bit scary. So if you haven't already picked up your Gardevoirs, now might be a good time because I can see that becoming just like unprecedented best deck in format for a while, which is scary. We're also seeing a Reverum. It's okay. There's one that has discard energy, draw cards. It sees a bit of play. This one is 70 damage if you have more cards in your hand than your opponent, 80 more damage, triple colorless. So you could pay reversal energy to cover that attack cost and hit weakness for steal things. That's okay. And the final bit of news for this week, oh, that's not the right button, is a new knockout collection featuring mythical Pokemon. And I'll be honest, this one kind of annoyed me when I saw it. So it's exclusive to like certain stores. So I'm kind of thinking just like your box stores, like Walmart's, things like that. They'll have these just on the shelf of like, oh, you can get this. There's some booster packs in it. But it has specific cards in it. And they're D block. Actually, Marshallow's not. He's a battle style card. He's still in rotation. But the Shaman and the Zeraora have rotated, which means they're marketing a product as new. But if a kid goes and picks this up and then goes like, oh, I like these cards, and then tries to bring them to like a league and play, they're going to get that talking to of like, oh, this is what rotation is. This is this. And they'll have, their parents are going to have the explanation like, oh, well, we just bought this like 10 minutes ago. It came out. And it's, why do they do that? Don't that, guys. Don't like market it as a new thing when it's rotated. Please stop. It's not healthy for the community. That's my view on it, at least. And like these aren't even collection pieces. They're not alternate arts. They're not alternate hollow foils. So there's no collector aspect to it. It looks like they're just non-hollow versions of cards that came out. Maybe they were hollows, actually. The Zeraora might have been a hollow. I don't know what the other two were, though. Happily be corrected on that. But yeah, it just seems like a product that doesn't necessarily need to exist and is likely just going to end up creating a lot of confusion. That's it for the news this week, though. Sorry, it went a little bit longer than intended. We did get the full set reveal for Ruler of the Black Flame, which is kind of interesting. So, yeah, went a little bit over our normal time. But until next time, guys, take care of yourselves.